Welcome to Networking with Nathaniel, a conversational style podcast where I get to sit down or stand up with entrepreneurs, business owners, people that are just looking to grow. So, if that is you, if you're looking to grow in your personal life, in your career, in your relationships, you have come to the right place. I am Nathaniel Hovsepian. I am the host of Networking with Nathaniel. Go figure. I am a real estate investor. I am a health and wellness coach. I am a husband and a father, first and foremost. I have done many, many real estate deals in my career so far. I have helped other people do the same. I am coaching busy dads to take control of their health and wellness. But this show is not about me. It's called Networking with Nathaniel. It's about the guests, the movers and the shakers who I get to share their journeys with. I share their struggles, share their successes, what is working, what is not working, and where they're moving. Before we get to introducing today's guest, who is a budding friend of mine, the second local person that I'm having on Networking with Nathaniel. If you are not subscribed to the channel already, what the heck are you doing? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future episodes. You can go back and watch the previous ones. Please hit the like button so we can reach more people. Without further ado, my guest today is a local real estate investor, local to me, Augusta, Georgia, Aiken, South Carolina, kind of in between. She has left her job a little over a year ago, I think it is. We'll clarify that. Sold everything she had, moved up here to invest in herself and grow as a real estate investor. And she's making big waves. Her big goal, which I look forward to talking about, is having a giant dog rescue, 10,000 plus dogs. Imagine the impact that she can have on the canine world. Welcome to the show, Whitney.
Hi, Nathaniel. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I know you've got a very, very busy schedule right now in between your investing and the owners club and this marathon that you're training for. So I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here with me. Did I do a good job of introducing you?
You did. You did a great job.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mentioned that you did what I forget what industry you were in that you decided this is enough. I need to go and break out on my own.
Fashion, retail.
Okay. And
I did
this
it
and
for 15
yeah.
years, and that feels like a whole different lifetime ago of mine.
Yeah. And this was if my memory serves me correctly, it's a little over a year ago at this point. Is that right?
Actually, it's been a little longer than that.
Okay.
The very end of 2021, I,
Oh, okay. So a few years ago.
yes, a few years ago, I
Yeah.
could not take it anymore. Um, And I spent 2022 figuring out exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And that's when I found real estate.
Okay. So is it maybe just over a year ago that you came up here? Is that what it is?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So I was
Okay.
living in the San Francisco Bay Area at the time. And then that was just not working for me. I moved to Miami, Florida, and I was there for a few years. And Miami is lovely and great. And I will always love it. It's a very different place to live,
Mm.
vacation. And so a year ago, yes, I became your neighbor in Aiken, South Carolina. And that's when we
Yeah.
met.
Yeah. And you've come to a handful of meetups so far. You're
Yes.
very busy between, yeah.
And with all of my dogs, I brought them
That's
as
right.
well. Not just one,
Yeah.
not two, but all three of them.
You have. Yeah, and the kiddos thanked you for that because my kids love animals. They love dogs specifically. So that was really
Yeah, it's
entertaining.
like
But
there are free babysitters there who just want to take the
that's right.
dogs on a walk
Yeah,
while we
that's right. So tell me, you left this job, you've started investing in yourself, and since haven't started investing in real estate. What has been your focus really over the past, let's see, the last I saw you was at Squat Up Summit in whenever that was, February,
Yeah.
April. Jeez Louise. So what have you done? Because I know that you're in Owners Club now, which is a very exclusive community, even smaller inside of Sub 2 and the other communities that Pace is kind of in the circles of. What is your focus right now for the rest of 2025? And how is this going to impact your big goal of that dog rescue?
This is such a fun question. What I would say is anybody who is on the entrepreneurial journey knows that things are always evolving and we are kind of always pivoting. What I would say is after a couple of years in this space, I have never felt more excited or confident about
Mm,
where I'm going now and what I'm doing and how I'm spending my time. So, coming out of Squad Up, I joined forces with Benjamin Huang and his incredible business buying team. And so that is where a majority of my time is being spent right now. We
okay.
are buying laundromats. Um, and also, we offer the ownership code community, which is a place for investors to come in, specifically investors interested in business buying. Surround yourself with like-minded people who have similar goals of going out and buying businesses, whether that's a laundromat or a car wash or whatever it may be. So that is where a majority of my time is being spent right now. And, so much about what we do on a daily basis is about the people, because people can really make or break something. And I think that's what I'm finding so energizing is that every day I'm around such incredible people with really big goals. Who are just fun and kind humans too, because that really matters. So that was something new that came out of Squad Up that I am super excited about. At Squad Up, I did sign up for Owners Club, so that has been transformative already. With that, we are tasked with building out our Mount Everest. And I've always known that I wanted to have a big dog rescue. I just wasn't exactly sure how or when that was really going to fit into my life. But getting really crisp on what my goals are through Owners Club, I have built that dog rescue into my Mount Everest. So um, with that, it kind of operates as a charity, so to say. So I need to get a few revenue driving engines going in the back to help fuel this dog rescue. And so that is where the multifamily acquisitions are going to be coming into play. I'm sending off my
Okay.
LOI today on a multifamily property. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's nothing, just hit the ground running, right?
Yeah.
Um, am, I am an underwriter after spending 15 years in corporate America, really doing nothing but numbers in fashion. Numbers are my thing. So I do feel super confident in the underwriting of this. Um, so that is really what I've been up to and what my current goals are.
Yeah. I was going to wait a little bit, but what you said, something you said there is a perfect segue for this. So I'm going to do what is it? Unabashedly, uncarefully plug for Fit Fatherhood right now because Whitney just mentioned the community aspect and the people, and Fit Fatherhood, the Facebook group, is a community of like-minded dads who are all looking to take control of their health and wellness together. So if you're a dad out there, or if you know a dad out there that is looking to take charge of their health and wellness and to keep charge of their health and wellness so they can be strong entrepreneurs or career driven individuals and just be good role models for their families, join the Fit Fatherhood Facebook group. Come be a part of this community as we're learning and growing together. You can find the link in the show notes. You'll find it at nathanielhofsepian.com. Back to the show with Whitney. Oh, uh, how do I get it back up? There we go. Okay, I have a bunch of questions here. You've mentioned the business buying. You mentioned multifamily acquisitions, and you mentioned goal setting. with the business
Mhm.
buying, with the business buying and the multifamily, are you underwriting in both of those? Is that kind of your role for both of those uh, components that you're a part of, or both of those
Great
groups that you're
question.
a part of?
Um,
Yeah.
the answer would be no. So the multifamily, I right now I'm just kind of setting out on my own in that aspect. The business buying, Benjamin Huang is the expert. So I
Okay.
leave all things underwriting to him because that his way of purchasing a business really goes focuses on the relationship that is built, and he's not really even talking numbers with the seller until the very very end. um, so I am not involved in the underwriting there. I am the operations side of things.
Okay. Okay. And that and that kind of leads me into another question is I don't remember the name of the group, but you guys were all wearing pink at Squad Up.
Yes. Another great question. So
Yeah.
that is the Elite Hub. And I, in my previous life, I was a transaction coordinator.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that is a fabulous group of ladies. And I was with them for a little bit over a year. But, we all only have 24 hours in a day. And with that, some really hard decisions have to get made. And so, based on, the goals that I have laid out for myself, unfortunately, I, had to make the choice to step away from doing any TC work
Yeah. What
just to make
and
time for my other goals.
I think that one of our upcoming guests in the next month is from Elite Hub. Alyssa, maybe? Alyssa Ritchie,
Oh,
potentially. Is that a is
yeah,
that
that's her.
okay.
She owns it. Yeah,
Okay, so perfect. So we'll get to talk about that. We won't talk about that. Like, what I love here is that you have gotten so clear on the goals, and maybe the way you get to this place, this Mount Everest, isn't super clear yet. It's becoming more clear as you take more steps. But when you're clear on the goal and what it's going to take to get you there, at least in some sense, you're able to say no to things. And so,
correct.
you know, it's it's difficult sometimes for us to say no and be unapologetic about that. But
Mhm.
when we have this clear goal in mind, we have to be able to say no that doesn't align with it. No disrespect. I don't wish you no I wish you the best, but this doesn't align with my goal. I got it. I There's 10,000 dogs out there. Well, there's 9,997 dogs out there that need because Whitney has 3 dogs. I don't know if we mentioned that already. That need my help. And so you've become crystal clear on this. What was the name of the business buying group that you mentioned that you can come be a part of the community?
Ownership code.
Okay, ownership code, and that's Benjamin. That's something that you guys have kind of built together.
Yes.
Okay,
Benjamin is
yeah,
kind of the visionary behind it all, and he has a wonderful team surrounding him. We laugh because right now within ownership code, it's Benjamin and then 4 women. And so we have just nicknamed ourselves Benjamin's Angels.
nice. Okay, yeah, I
At some point, we may need to
love
add
it.
some more male energy in there.
Yeah.
So yes, that's
Mm.
fun.
As long as it's working, let's not play
As
with it
long
too
as it's
crazy.
working. That's right.
Yeah, don't fix it if it broke. With your goals that you've become very clear on, is there anything that you've gone through that you're allowed to talk about? That's not like owners club proprietary information that have helped you kind of to gain clarity on these, to work through some things and go, yeah, this is a yes, this is a no.
That is an awesome question. So I would say that for me, that goes very, very, very deep
Mm,
and it's beyond surface level. Um, I believe I shared with you that I lost my mom,
mm,
and losing her, well, I don't like to say that I lost her because I know exactly where she is and she's watching over me every single day. She's just not present on this earth anymore in that same form. But I took care of her for 3.5 years. She had ALS.
Mm.
And I was, climbing the corporate ladder at the time we found out about her diagnosis. And that really just shook all of my priorities and turned my life upside down. And at the time, I really didn't understand it. But now I'm able to see with so much clarity that, as cliche as it sounds, everything really does happen for a reason. And so, because of that, and because of all of the grief and the pain that I have been working with for the past 10 years, I have a pretty easy time now saying no to things that don't bring me joy, that don't fill my cup, and that don't bring me a lot of purpose. Because life is short, life is precious, and I don't want to waste a minute of that. That's not something that I take very lightly. So that played a huge piece in why I left corporate America. That was a job that was just soul sucking and literally shaving years off of my life. And I thought, this is not what my mom would want for me, is to be sitting in a miserable job, just to collect a very healthy paycheck. This is not life. I am not living. And so I have carried that forward in my entrepreneurial journey. Um, so that is what has helped me really solidify my goals and know that if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And I don't have time for that.
Yeah. So it's not just it's not it's this isn't something that it sounds like, at least this isn't something that just started with the Owners Club. This is something
Correct.
you've been sitting with and wrestling with. And okay. Uh, did you have this idea of the Mount Everest because I know the Mount Everest is a term coined by Pace and inside Owners Club. Did you already had this Mount Everest kind of picked out and you've just been able to get more focused and more clarified on it?
Yes. It was more like, oh, a dream of mine is to have a dog rescue one
Mm.
day, really just kind of throwing it out there, but not really having the clarity as to exactly how am I going to make this happen. So now I'm like, I'm an owners club and I am showing up. I'm doing the work. I am going to figure out how to do this dog rescue. And what has been so fun is the more and more people that I am connecting with and sharing my Mount Everest with, they have amazing ideas and ways
Yeah.
that I can add on, right? Because at first I was like, this is really going to be a charity and I've got to figure out how to fund this 100%. And Adam Catledge, who's a fellow dog lover, was
Mhm.
like, okay, why don't you like figure out a way to bring guests or visitors onto the property? Put little mini houses on and they can stay with dogs overnight, like as an experience kind of thing. They can pay you to do that. He
Yeah,
also
no,
threw out like, okay, what about boarding? What about grooming? Brainstorming like many ways to bring in revenue. So
mhm.
that has been really fun and it just like makes the dream bigger and bigger and bigger. I did go to a sub 2 meetup in Charleston. Maybe that was like 6 weeks ago or so.
Okay.
And at that point, I had just like come up with my Mount Everest. And somebody there was like, oh, you need land for this. And I was like, yeah, my dream would be like, 100 acres. And he was like, oh, I've got some land. You ready to go buy it right now? And I was like, oh, wait, give me some time. He was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
let's go. So that's been really fun too.
yeah. There's it's amazing when you start talking about your vision that people kind of not come out of the woodworks. They've been there all along, but now they're able to help you mold it and shape it and make it more clear. This this these suggestions that Adam came up with, it kind of reminds me of a little bit what Michelle Basson does with her RV parks, where it's not themed necessarily. She just dials into the avatar, the type of person that will be attracted to these places, and then she makes amenities around that that really feed into that. And so she has multiple. income sources for these RV parks. It's similar to this. Like, no, you don't have to fund it. You just have to figure out ways that it can fund itself and it can self-sustain. So that's really freaking cool. Is there a time frame on this? Have you set a 3, 5, 10-year target for where I want
I
to have this done and work backwards from there?
I should have known you'd ask me something like that. I don't yet have a time frame on it. I would say I really want it up and operational, something up and operational in the next 3 years, and then I think it's just gonna keep kind of growing from there. It's not like I will have everything ready with all of the Olympic-sized swimming pools for the dogs. I will not have everything right away, but within the next 3 years, I do want something. And I would say with the 10,000 dogs, that number may grow because, you and I are on the East Coast and there are dogs
Mhm.
all over the country that need to be saved. And
Yeah.
so I would like to start with one rescue here on the East Coast and then, also put one in the Midwest and then also on the West Coast as well.
Yeah. That's amazing. I, the cool thing about these visions, or something that a lot of people may not realize, is that it doesn't have to be totally set in stone. And even though it's 3 years, you might get to the 2-year point and go, okay, I'm already where I thought I would be 3 years from now. Now I'm setting a new 3-year target that's even bigger and grander. So just like you said, it starts one place, and then I have this bigger vision that that it is gonna expand. I don't, and it's okay to not have absolute clarity on this of it's going to be 3 years, because who knows if you're one multifamily deal away from being able to go, I just freed up time now for me to
Correct.
be able to go focus on this stuff. And I don't know where she got it from, but Kathy Sonner, a friend of mine, says, oh man, she says, make it exist and then perfect it later. So it might be an owners club thing, but yeah, just I love that. Is I'm gonna go get a space, I'm gonna start putting dogs there, I'm gonna start building the other things around it, and the places where people can come and all that. I'll make it perfect. I just got to make it exist first. That's really the goal. How can I start rescuing, saving these dogs as soon as possible? So,
Correct.
what is the sixth? We're halfway through 2025 now. To specify for anybody that's listening to this in the future, it is June 2025. What is the 6-month kind of goal target for you in the business buying and in the multifamily space?
Great question, because time really feels like it's flying. I don't know how it is June.
Yeah.
I When I think about what I'm trying to do professionally, I also have to take into consideration what I am doing personally at the same time because they all coexist together.
Yep.
So I am, as I shared, currently living in a rental on a farm while my new house is getting ready for me. So I will be moving. Um, so I'm excited about that. That has become quite time consuming,
Yeah.
renovating a new house.
Yeah.
Professionally, I would say that we can really underestimate what we can do once we put our mind to something. So I would say in the next 6 months, if I could get 2 multifamily properties under ownership, I would be thrilled.
Mm.
Um, from a business buying perspective, let's see. I would say, if we could acquire, it depends on the size of, the laundromat, but anywhere from 2 to 4 laundromats by the end of the year, I think that would
Yeah.
be a fabulous goal.
What does the average laundromat bring in on a monthly basis? I know it
I mean,
depends on the size,
it
but yeah.
really, really just depends on
Oh,
the size
there's
of
no.
it. I mean, you can
Yeah.
have, some little, mom and pop that, on an annual basis can bring in like 300K. You can also have a much larger operation that, can be multi-million. So it really just depends on the size of it.
Okay. Yeah. There's no. I guess Not a silly question. There are no silly questions.
There
No.
are no silly questions. That
Yeah.
is right. We're all learning.
You said something a little bit ago that I wanted to bring up, and you alluded to it a little bit here with the personal and the business. They feed into each other and they piggyback off of each other. You can't do one without the other. And that's the reason that we called fit fatherhood is because it's not just fitness, it's fitting it in.
Mhm.
It's fitting in your career and it's fitting in your relationship with your wife and your friends and all the things into fatherhood, right? It's the same thing with just entrepreneurship. If you don't have these other things going on, you're going to get burnt out. And if you're not taking care of your health, which is, I'll get to why I'm saying this, um, then 5, 10, 15 years down the line, you've built this business, but you're not able to enjoy it. And you mentioned, I think you said, figure it out. We just got to figure it out sometimes. And before we went live, you told me, I was poking it a little bit of, hey, you haven't come to a meetup in a little while. And you said, well, I have this accountability group that meets on Saturdays, and I have this other thing, and I'm training for a marathon, and then you said, oh, I might just have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning so I can get my run in on Saturday. That way I can be back for this accountability meeting that I'm supposed to have with my owners club. And that's figuring it out. Like, I have these goals. Yeah, I got this owners club meeting that is definitely moving my needle. I need accountability partners. They need me, I need them. But I also set a goal of being a part of this marathon, and it's coming up quick. So I gotta, my training is going longer, and I love that. Figure it out. With the, is there anything you want to add on that? Or yeah.
No, that's actually
Okay.
one of my favorite books, but we can save that. Everything is figure
Okay.
out.
Figure it out. Okay. You
Yeah.
looked them up ahead of time, I know.
Yeah, so that I could
With
remember
the
that name.
with the two, I think because you've got this team, Benjamin has been doing this for a little while now. I'd love to focus a little bit more on the Whitney, kind of aspect of the with the multifamily. You your goal for this is to get to two, to get two acquired within the next 6 months. What do you see as being hurdles, obstacles, roadblocks getting in the way of that?
My own mindset.
Okay. Hmm.
Um, because I haven't done it before, right? And I know how to underwrite. I mean, I just underwrote two multifamilies that, like, in my accountability group, I mean, this is how quickly things can move. In my accountability group a week ago Saturday, so it's now been 10 days. Um, one of my leaders, Matt Peckman, challenged me on something. And that's how this whole thing got started. And I was like, yes, I thought on this and I thought this is how I'm going to get it done the quickest. So found a multifamily, found two actually, underwrote them. Then he was so kind as to like review them with me. I'm sending off the LOI today. Then it's like, okay, I get it under contract because that's all the easy part. And then it's my mindset that I have to work through. Okay, raising the capital, getting the operations piece of it up and running. Like, that is just, I think I could do that kind of in my sleep just based on my previous experience in corporate America.
Yeah.
Different, but very similar skill set. And so it's just my own mindset that stands in the way. So I'm working on that. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to.
That's
Have to
that's a
remember
that's a
that
strong place.
on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
yeah, yeah. And it's your accountability leader or whatever you call them, Matt, is a pretty good person to have in your corner for working through all that mindset stuff for sure.
Correct.
Yeah. Uh, with with the accountability group, a lot of people, and I don't think probably most of the people listening right now are going to not understand the power of accountability group. But for anybody who may be listening live or in the future, what is that accountability group? what does your meeting look like every week? And what are they doing for you? And what are you doing for them?
It's a Zoom call,
Hmm.
which makes it, very easy to just plug in. One of the meetings I was on the road to go buy new furniture for my house, but still able to log in, see everybody's faces, have, I think that day it was like a 2.5 hour conversation.
Yeah.
And so the leaders bring very thought provoking questions. Michelle Bassan is actually another one of my leaders, in addition to Matt Peckman and Jason Stain. I feel like I just got so blessed.
Yeah.
Um, so they really bring the thought provoking questions, and then it just opens up into a conversation. And you know, 10 days ago, I was just very vulnerable and started sharing. And then someone right after me was like, "Well, I'm going to piggyback on that," and just opened up her heart and let us into some very deep and dark things that she has, gone through in her life. And everybody just showed up to support her and, wants to help her with mindset and how to work through some of these challenges. And so just created like such a bonding moment. And now we can't wait to all see each other in person in Monterey this next
Mhm.
week.
Yeah.
So accountability is not just, did you do the thing that you said you were going to do, but also like showing up for each other, and being the emotional support that you
Mm.
need when you're out there trying to do really big stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. That's that last bit that you said about it's not just about, hey, did you go do the thing today or this week that you said you were going to do? It's being able to work things through from a, hey, this is a hurdle that I'm running into. How can you have you overcome this before? How can we kind of talk through this together? Hey, I'm going through this personally right now. Having somebody that's going to be there to, I don't know, pat you on the back, rub you, whatever that you need right now. So I love that. Is the What's the size of your this group that you're in? Because you mentioned a couple of your leaders and then a couple other people already.
That's a good question, because we've had like varying different attendance. It's on a Saturday morning, and sometimes people have kids, soccer games, and whatever. I want to say like maybe 20
Okay.
or so, 25 maybe.
Wow.
So a way to get like intimate enough and know each other on a personal level, which I personally really enjoy. That's how I connect the best.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you are having more of a one-on-one or maybe one-on-two with where you are a little bit more even going even deeper together?
Um, with one of the leaders, yes. And that kind of spawned from me doing a personal share. Um, and it with Matt Peckman. And so he was
Mm.
like, let's chat about this a little bit further. And so that has been super, super helpful. Um, so yes, I think getting to know more of these beautiful humans in person is going to further that as well. And I'll develop more of those one-on-one relationships.
Mm.
But I just feel like creating, we call them pods. Some people call them accountability groups, like even a further breakdown within Owners Club, really, because Owners Club is still like 600 people.
Yeah,
Some
no,
could say
yeah.
it's not a big group considering how big, like the sub 2 group is, but 600 is still a lot of people, right? So breaking it
Yeah.
down even further so you can build those really strong connections, has been like such a gift.
Yeah. I would I would say that that's probably a big component of why you're making the moves that you're making, and w kind of one of the questions that I would like to ask you, and maybe this is one of your answers, is since you've made this shift and you've really focused in on these goals now, are there any habits, maybe daily or weekly, like this accountability group that can you look back and attribute to, okay, this is really moving my needle, and these are things that I'm going to keep in place going forward?
So I feel like I already had a very good start on the habits and my routine going into Owners Club, that's something that I really transformed, I would say, when I became an entrepreneur. Um, I have a really, 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 really bad habit that I am committing to change. And
Mm.
that is social media and the amount of time that I spend on social media every single day. So that it, I think I could call it an addiction. I think a lot of
Okay.
people probably have it, but don't necessarily think of it in that capacity. But it's pick up the phone and like my fingers just automatically click on Facebook or they automatically click on Instagram. And it's not a good use of my time. Yes,
Mm.
I want to be active and I want to see what other people are doing. And I need to get better at posting my own content. But I want to be spending less time there and more time in the business and also just more time enjoying life. But when it comes to like my health routine and fitness routine, I am holding very, very firm on what I already have in place. And again, because
Yeah.
we only have 24 hours in a day, I get very, very protective of that time. I get up in the morning and I'm working out, whether it is a run or whether I'm lifting weights. Then I'm in the sauna, um, 30 minutes a day at a minimum. I've got a multitude of other things that I won't bore you with. Um, but yes, I'm super committed to that. And I would use the word protective of that time.
Yeah, and you should. I think that's a good use of it, and then you should be of it, especially if it's the things that are helping you to be able to put your best foot forward in, the couple of businesses that you're a part of,
Mhm.
and this huge goal that you're looking to accomplish. If you're not protective of that time, at least for me, I notice it like on days that I maybe sleep in a little bit late, or I just for whatever reason don't do my morning exercise or morning devotional, you're just sluggish and you're
Yep.
not quite 100% the rest of the day. And it's like, man, don't do that tomorrow. Make sure you knock those things out of the park because they affect everything. We don't think that they do, but they
They
do.
really do. I mean, think of how much energy you get from your workouts in the morning. I mean, you know, a fellow investor who really has such a huge focus on health, and
Mhm.
we need that energy boost sometimes, and that comes from the workouts.
Yeah. It's counterintuitive because you think, "Oh, I go and spent all this energy, it's gonna make me tired." And it does a little bit when you're in the moment, but you get this boost, you get the endorphin rush, and the metabolic rate picks up, and it gives you energy throughout the day. So, if you're out there and you're not doing it, get some morning movement in, get some early afternoon movement in too when you feel that little, I need a 5-hour energy." No, no, no. You just need to go do some squats or something.
And get out in the sun too. That vitamin
Yeah.
D is like so healing. Without the sunscreen, that was controversial, but yeah, no
We won't
sunscreen.
get into that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What calendar series?
Yes, your
Absolutely.
Leah is so right.
Okay,
Leah
explain this to
is
me.
right. The calendar
What's cal
series, I think is pretty transformative. It's part of Owners Club. Um,
Okay,
Pace paid Dan Martell, um, I think it was Dan Martell, like the equivalent of $360,000 to get crystal clear on his calendar and how he spends his time. And, you have non negotiables. And so you start your calendar every week with what are the non negotiables. For me, that's my health stuff. It's my walk with my dogs in the morning. For others, it may be time with their kids, their workouts, whatever that is. So you start with the non negotiables, um, and then build everything else in around that based on the priority that it plays in your life.
yeah, I love that. Yeah, so that makes sense now. Calendar series is a series of Zoom calls or whatever modules that you guys had to prioritize it. And, you mentioned the scrolling, going to Facebook. That can be a non-negotiable, and
Mhm.
if you're intentional about putting it into the calendar. uh, This is the time that I sit there and I scroll and I catch up on all the things. Just put it
Correct.
into the calendar and now like you're not you it may not work for you, but you will be less. Where's my phone at? Oh, here. You might be less apt to pick it up and just scroll because you know that at 2:30 I get to pick up my phone for 30 minutes. It's on
Yes,
my calendar.
I have actually input 3 different times during the day where I can check in, and
Yeah.
that is also a habit that I am working on because a text message will come through. And we also were so overstimulated by all of the different methods in which someone can get a hold of us, right? It's no longer just
Mhm.
a phone call or a text message. You've also got WhatsApp, you got Facebook Messenger. I mean, you got so many different things. And my phone is with me, kind of all the time. I do try and turn it over. Um, but for me, it's easy to see something and I'm like, oh, that's got to be important. I need to look at it right now. No, that's a distraction. So I'm
Right.
really working on, I'm putting my phone down, and during these 3 times throughout the day, that is when I will check and catch up on anything.
Yeah, I love that. And you're totally correct. I have WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the different yeah. I sometimes I do feel bad that I don't answer I'll sometimes look at my phone and my mom texted me 5 hours ago, and I'm like, "Oh, man, what a bad son." Like, she understands, though. She knows that what we're doing over here. So, um, with the multifamily stuff, is there any places you're specifically looking, regions, states, cities, anything like that, or is it kinda broad?
For starting, I would like to keep it in South Carolina just
Okay,
because I want, not that I plan on managing them myself, but to start off and for my comfort level, want them, kind of within driving distance, so that I can check up on things a little bit more. And then, once I have a few under my belt there, then I think I will expand. Um, I would say you are close enough in Georgia that, if something is kind of, around the eastern, northeastern Georgia area, I would be interested in that as well. But keeping it pretty focused to start. I'm not looking at something that's like 250 unit to start. No, thank
okay,
you. Um,
yeah,
you know, maybe 15, 20 units to start. I mean, those are the ones that I have underwritten for now and I'm sending in the LOI for. Um, so I'd say kind of mid-size to start.
okay. Yeah, I love it. And, dip your I don't wanna say dip your toe in the water because that sounds a little bit like you're not actually going like, you're not
Well,
committed to this,
we can
but
say to get warmed up.
yeah, getting warmed up. There you go. Stretch them
Yeah.
out, stretch your wings out a little bit. Is this all through brokers at the moment? Or are you doing some off market
Yes.
type?
Currently, yes, but if anybody is out there and wants to bird dog and bring me deals, off market, I would be more than I'd be thrilled actually, and of course would always find a way to pay somebody um, for bringing me a deal that closes.
Yeah, this and so I was hoping you'd say that, so we could segue into what is the best way for people to reach out to you, Whitney, to bring you deals, connect with you, whatever the case may be.
Should I list Instagram, Facebook, email, WhatsApp? Should I list all the different ways, or should I simplify?
Whatever your preferred way is, if they wanna connect with you, their first task is to figure out how to get onto your preferred platform. Whatever you want,
Wonderful.
man.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
would say Instagram. I am Whitney Parkhill _investor. So send me a message there or send me an email. And my email is Whitney at Bell, BELLE, homepartners.com.
I think I already have these, but I'm writing them all down. Homepartners.com, so I can make sure that those get into the show notes, or so Rachel can make sure, I should say. They might already be in the show notes, but so if anybody's out there looking for multifamily properties, South Carolina, Eastern Georgia, let's say 50 doors or less.
Yeah,
We're
you're
up
pushing
there?
me. I love it, Nathan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, then bring them to Whitney and let her underwrite them and figure out how you guys can do a deal together. You mentioned, I forget what it was called, Figure It Out book? A book? You mentioned a book early on.
Yes, I do have a couple of different books. Everything is figure outable.
Okay.
by Marie. I think you say Forleo, Forleo. Um, I love that one.
Incredible.
I also love The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins.
Okay, I have not done that one yet. High five habit. I like Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is the 5 second one, right? Or
Great.
what is it? 3 second, 3 second one.
Um, my best friend just sent me Mel Robbins' book, Let Them. So I'm going to
Oh,
dive into that
that's
next.
what I was thinking of. Let them.
Yeah.
I haven't read that book, but she did a podcast where she basically broke it down
Okay.
I think it was on her podcast. She basically broke down the concepts of the book. So I did the Cliff Notes, the Mel Robbins Cliff Notes version of it. Are
And
there
what did
any
you takeaways?
well, it's very similar to in a sense to the being able to say no to things. It's just like let them do what they're doing. I've got such clarity on what I'm doing that just kind of I don't want to say push it aside, but just don't let it affect you. There's
Mhm.
something that one of my coaching clients is reading. Dang, I forget what the name of the book was, but it puts you inside of a bus, and you're the bus driver of your own bus. And he had 3 rules for your bus, and it was like, don't let people get on your bus that aren't aligned with where you're going. Don't let negative energy onto your bus. And so that's kind of a little bit kind of cousin concept to the let them. Yeah.
I
Cousin?
like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. I'm gone now. Oh boy. Was there are there
I think
any
it's really good. I like that.
yeah. Are there any podcasts on that podcast, Mel Robbins, anything like that that you like to listen to that's kind of moving your needle in that direction?
I actually love Mel Robbins' podcast. That's a regular one that I listen to when I work out. And I'm going to
Okay.
pull up my favorite shows right now because I have a few other that let's see. Lewis Howes, I love his School of Greatness. That's another favorite one.
Okay. How do you spell Lewis?
Lewis.
Okay. It's real great.
His
Go
last
ahead and
name
I'll
is
put it.
Howes.
Cool. My last question, Whitney, which I did preface you on ahead of time. When your time on this earth is done and you are wherever you believe you go, what do you want to be remembered for by the people or dogs that you left behind?
I feel like I could really cry when I think about that one. I want to be remembered as someone who is really kind and loving and gave back and like made that a mission to make the world a better place. Because
Mm,
nothing else matters when we leave this world, not taking money with us, but we can leave a mark on the world. And that's what I want to do.
mm. Yeah, I have this thought here now that you said that you can't take the money with us. One of the things, at least from a dad perspective, is leaving behind this. We're a lot of entrepreneurs are focused on this generational wealth and leaving behind that as their
Mhm.
legacy. And you say
Mhm.
leave behind the kindness, leave behind the giving and the caring. And isn't that a legacy in its own that we're leaving behind? That I can leave my
Mhm.
kids money, but if I haven't instilled those things in them, the money doesn't matter. It's a fruitless thing that I'm leaving them. It's really those values that I'm leaving behind. So I love that. I appreciate that.
And I think, well, for me, I hope to have
Mm,
children. That's actually one of my huge goals that we did not touch on here, but I do hope to have children. But if for some reason that I don't, irregardless of that, whether I have human children or not, I really want to make a mark financially, through donating to
mm,
really transform dog rescues go forward. And so I think that's how I like parlay, kindness and love as well, is through giving.
Yeah, I love that. We have a CSR. Is it CSRA Humane Society here? I
Yes.
think.
We have one in Aiken.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should start donating to that one instead. Because you're in Aiken now, and I'm in South Carolina. I think the other one's in Augusta. What the heck? Any parting words for me, for the audience, Whitney?
I am just so appreciative to have been able to have this wonderful conversation with you. You're so like-minded and also have huge goals as a fellow entrepreneur and just a breath of fresh air. So thank you. And I cannot wait to see you in person at one of your meetups here soon. I may be
Yeah.
coming hot and sweaty, if you don't mind, straight off of a run.
Mhm. Yeah, we'll do them outside. Just have your run end. We're doing it at the Columbia County Library now, so just have your run end at the Columbia County. Oh no, how would that work? You'd have to start at end it there so you could get home somehow afterwards.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
could drive over there and then do my run. Yeah.
yeah. Do you take the? Oh, so we're just gonna spend the last 5 minutes just. No. Do you take the dogs with you on the runs? Or it's too far?
No, it's too far. And um my oldest one, who is the best, Belle,
Yeah,
couldn't make it for because we're getting up, 10 plus miles now. That's too far for her. And the
yeah,
two rescue puppies, I no, they would be yanking me all around. And I think we'd spend more time sniffing than we would running. So they get
yeah,
left behind with Chewies.
yeah. I don't think so. We put Cody down a few weeks ago at this point, but I don't think we ever did more than like 4 or 5 mile run. I think once
Okay.
you get above that, you got to have a dog that's meant for that kind of
Well, and you
meant
think
for running.
too about like as humans, right? We're having electrolytes and all of that. And I mean, dogs need something more than just water, if they're going
Right.
on extensive runs. And I don't know what all of that is. So yes, you're right. I think it would be a little too much.
Yeah. Look at. Are you're gonna
Le-
drive out here? Aren't you in Atlanta, Leah?
No, she's in Lexington. She's only an hour away.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought she was in Atlanta. Columbia County Library. I will text you. Text Leah. Okay. Anybody that's listening to this in the future is gonna be like, "What the heck? They're just having a friendly conversation." Yeah, that's what this is. It's networking with Nathaniel. Text Leah about meetup. Well, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for. I know you are appreciative of coming on, but I'm appreciative of you coming on, taking the time out of your day to. Oh, well, oh, you're already on my list to text, Leah. I don't send the texts anymore. Oh, my lovely assistant Rachel does. So um, it's not as personal, we'll just say. But I appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey and sharing your goals. And hopefully, there's somebody out there that's listening that can help you get to this goal. And especially we can shorten that time frame to getting dogs into a place and starting to get rescued. That's why I started networking with Nathaniel, is so we could learn about each other's goals and we can share in elevating them and getting to them quicker and all just win together. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
I hope
you
to
for
see you
having
soon.
me. Yes, I will
Yeah.
see you soon.
Yeah. That was Whitney. Lots of things that she's got going on. And that is a testament to just figuring it out. You heard, we talked a little bit before we started the show. And that's why I wanted to bring that up, is that she's got these other non-business goals that she's working on, that she's figured out how to fit into her schedule, because that huge goal, that pie in the sky, that Mount Everest, that's not going anywhere. It's about figuring out and working all the other things into it. If you are struggling with setting those big goals and then breaking them down like Whitney's been able to do, I have open office hours every Thursday at noon Eastern time just to help you out with that. And that's not just for that. We do a lot of different things in open office hours, but it's about helping you get unstuck in your business. We can network, we can talk all we want over Messenger, over text, but until we get in front of each other on Zoom and have a conversation, we can't really unlock those deeper levels, those deeper places that we want to go. So open office hours, you can come to nathanielhovsepian.com. Hopefully the registration will be working when you visit there. If not, just message me on Facebook, message me on Instagram, and I'll make sure you get that link. Leah, I hope to see you this weekend. If not, let's have a conversation. Until next week, later.